49-10, Colorado falls to 1-9. Brian, we expected this was going to happen. A lot of the same, but a better opponent. And JT Shroud again, a beautiful pass to Jordan Tyson, but then some really horrible throws in the second half. Two interceptions by Christian Gonzalez, and then unfortunately Jordan Tyson goes down late in the game.
Yeah, well, first off, you and I are in Balch Fieldhouse for the first time doing this because we're trying to escape the wind, which, CU couldn't escape the the onslaught of Oregon, but a little metaphor there. But, yeah, you're right. And I thought today was kind of classic JT Shrout where he'll make that throw, but that throw to Tyson came after two straight balls that should have been picked off, really bad passes that, hit Oregon defenders in the hands, and then he throws the 81-yard touchdown. So credit to him for that. But, yeah, once again, just not enough, quality plays on offense to really, turn this thing around. And, the two picks, there was two others that should have been picked. And, yeah, just a rough day, not just for JT, but, like, the team in general. And then, to me, the whole story is Jordan Tyson, and probably the brightest spot of this season. It looks like, we don't know yet, but it looks like he may be done.
Yeah, he had 137 yards, I believe, receiving, was 4 yards short of breaking the freshman single game yards record there. So unfortunate. Clearly that didn't look good. He wasn't able to put weight on his left leg coming off the field. And, I mean, you knew immediately that it was bad when you had an Oregon defender calling out for CU's medical personnel to come out there. Unfortunate. I was going to make the joke that the Buffs for Life NIL Collective should be renamed the Jordan Tyson Fund. I mean, that's still applicable, but what's more important than anything is just making sure that he's okay, because that didn't look good.
Yeah, it didn't look good. And, it was a rough second half for him because, just moments before that, there was the targeting call in Oregon that he got hit on. And I don't know how hard of a hit that was. I think it looked to me like there was some acting on Jordan's part, but it was enough that they took him back to check him out. Mike Sanford did say that there was nothing to it. They always just check guys out when there's a targeting call. He was totally fine, totally cleared. I did think down 39 points, why are you running him back out there? And it's easy to say when he gets hurt there at the end, but it's just unfortunate because he has been CU's best player. He's emerged the last few weeks, and he's been one of the brightest spots that we've seen around here in a few years.
Yeah, I mean, I get that, and it's kind of that, hindsight's 20/20. Of course, you see him get hurt. Why is he out there? But if he makes another big play, they are, as Mike Sanford said, they're playing for memories right now, and so they could have created another memory. And for him, a true freshman, getting experience at this level against a quality opponent like Oregon would have been big for him, and you can't predict whether or not somebody like that's going to get injured. I thought it was interesting to see Anthony Hankerson in there today because he had played in 4 games coming into today. Kind of figured maybe we wouldn't see him again, that he would redshirt, but he came in primarily in the second half, I believe. Did he play at all in the first half? I don't think so.
I don't remember him in the first half.
Finished with 69 yards, and he's a good young running back. Mike Sanford said that, there's a chance in another season he could still redshirt, if he gets hurt within 4 games of playing in a season. You sit out the rest of the year, not lose eligibility. I don't know. I see both sides of that. If Anthony Hankerson is wanting to play, then you roll him out there because that is a position, that guys typically, when they're ready to roll, you roll with them at running back.
Yeah. And, you're going to lose Alex Fontenot after this season. You don't know about Deion Smith. He could come back next year, but you probably want to see what you have. And if the kid doesn't want to redshirt and he wants to play, then our argument about redshirting is moot because if he doesn't care about the redshirt, then why should we? And the fact of the matter is, I think Hankerson's one of the best young players on this team. I've enjoyed watching him play, and he only played the second half and he led this team in rushing, so that tells you something about him. A couple of those were some runs there at the end that didn't matter a whole lot, but I love his running style. And, he's just one of those young guys that I think is exciting about this team, but can they keep him?
Yeah. Alex Fontenot back for the first time since week 2, and he had 71 yards. Again, most of those yards came in the second half. Good to see him out there. There's a lot of guys. Josh Chandler-Semedo was in the post-game press conference. A lot of guys that are nearing the end of their college football career that, you hope for their sake they can just kind of catch lightning in a bottle one game down the stretch. It's hard to predict that. We're certainly not going to. And now they've got a shortened week going out to USC, a program you've never beaten that is playing pretty darn good football as well. So probably going to be more of the same going out to Los Angeles. Any other thoughts to wrap this one up?
Not really. I think we covered most of it. I mean, I guess the only other thing is that, throw salt on the wound that it's Christian Gonzalez that gets both of those picks. And I have nothing against Christian. He was great for CU, and he was always good with us in the media. But for CU, that's salt on the wound. When
and putting the two fingers up in JT Shrout's face, again, I think he's a great young man, and it's great to see him have the team success and the success. He's probably going to be an early day draft pick, maybe even a first rounder. Probably didn't need to rub it in that way.
Yeah, and I guess it's more bitter for CU fans that he was really good here for 2 years, had no picks as a Buff, and gets 2 picks in his first game here against the Buffs. That's kind of rough. And one of them was almost a pick six. He had almost, I think, 80-some yards in returns on those. So, yeah, that was the salt in the wound there. And you mentioned USC. You got 2 guys next week that are going to want to do the same thing that Christian Gonzalez did. And I tell you, I tweeted about Christian no picks at CU at 2 today. Already liked by Mark Perry and Mekhi Blackman. Those guys are seeing all that stuff, and they're seeing comments that CU fans are making. And I guarantee you, Mekhi Blackman and Brandon Rice will be motivated next week, and there might be a little bit of taunting there as well.
Yeah, a few other points to talk about in this game that, as you were talking, I was thinking about was they had the ball deep in Oregon territory twice in the first half and got 0 points out of that. Yeah. There were opportunities for Colorado to make this a game early on, and they failed to do that. And then we saw fumbling issues on both teams. I think there were 7 total fumbles in this game. Only one was lost, one by CU, but the weather definitely played a factor today. The other thing to bring up briefly, I keep seeing in my mentions, why is Drew Carter not in there? Why is Maddox Kopp in there? The bottom line is, and I get it, when a quarterback is struggling the way JT Shrout is, you just want to see somebody else. If they go to either of those other guys for an extended period of time, it's not going to get any better based on everything we've heard and seen. So it is what it is. Mike Sanford said that Owen McCown is running scout team right now, but maybe a little different than with Hankerson, that you can get valuable experience down this stretch. Owen McCown came in not looking physically ready to compete at this level. Right. Quarterback's a little bit different. He didn't come in as an early enrollee. I think you definitely want to go out of your way to preserve that 1 year. And you just have to live with the results of that quarterback position because it's probably not going to be pretty down the stretch.
Yeah, and I think McCown's had his valuable experience at this point, and you move on from that. And you're right. I mean, I wanted to see there was a point in this game I said, they just need to put Drew Carter in the rest of the game. Drew Carter's never really played a whole lot here, but you would think if they're seeing some of these things in practice that, like, oh, wow, this guy could be better than JT Shrout, they would play him, right? Down 30-some points, they'd give him a shot. But it's clear that they think JT Shrout right now is the best chance for them to win and score, or at least score points. And that's just – it's not going to change. The fact of the matter is, like you said, they don't have Peyton Manning on the bench. They don't have 5-star or 4-star quarterbacks. It's just not a great quarterback room, and whatever it is, this is what it's going to be, right? And you hope that there's better results in some games, but this is what it's going to be.
It feels like there's a quarterback curse here. It feels like there's a blue chip curse, and it feels like there's a transfer curse to some level. We haven't seen R.J. Sneed live up to the potential, and I know his foot injuries played into that. But there's a lot of curses that somehow I don't know who and what can lift all these curses around here, but it certainly would be nice for everybody's sake around Boulder for somehow, some way that to all get figured out. But
I will say real quick, Tommy Brown and Josh Chandler-Samito have been pretty good transfers for this team, but you want to see more. You need more impact from the transfer portal.
All right, Colorado will have 3 more chances to notch another victory starting out in Los Angeles next Friday.